Joining me on the line is Michael Danby. He is the Parliamentary Secretary for the Arts, a Labor MP from here in Melbourne, for Melbourne Ports, in fact. Mr. Danby, thanks for your time.
How are you, Nick? I think that was great to have the John Kennedy do something.
Yeah, well, and now I'm going to ask you, are you going to do something?
Look, I believe there will probably be some kind of challenge by the end of the week, but I don't believe the majority of the Labor Party members will vote to change the leadership. I'm sorry. I think all of those who are bored with politics, all of those who don't like what we've done, will have to sort of focus on the issues as we get to the federal election, on disability care, on the national broadband network, all the kinds of things that sound boring and you've heard a million times before.
Okay, well, personally, do you think there should be a change?
No. I've made it clear that I'm a supporter of the Prime Minister's. I know it looks very tempting when you're a cephalogist and you follow the opinion polls and it says Kevin Rudd will be 6% better off. But what I ask you, Nick, is what will happen on day two? And what will the people think of us if we start behaving like the New South Wales Labor Party did?
But
and we
honestly,
change leaders like...
Mr. Danby,
like
if you've
chickens in
seen
a
the
chicken
opinion
shed.
polls, if they can't think any less of you, really, can they?
That's not what happened in New South Wales. They did think less of people when they kept changing the leaders.
Could you honestly reckon it could get worse than it is now?
Well, that's exactly what happened in New South Wales. People in a political party should only change the Prime Minister when things are absolutely desperate. I think the policies that we've pursued are eminently defensible, and I think Australia is a great country. We're doing so well compared to the rest of the world. I'm going to keep arguing the issues with people. I'm sorry, I know people don't find it very exciting, but that's my view.
Okay, what makes you think there will be a challenge this week?
Just all of the music, that's what you can call it, in the newspapers. Mr. Combay and another gentleman from Sydney, who people in Melbourne probably don't know that much, called Stephen Jones, saying it should be brought on. And there is a mechanism, Nick. A third of the Labor caucus could sign a petition, and that lead to a vote. That would get round Mr. Rudd's caveat that he himself won't challenge again. It would be his supporters challenging on his behalf.
Have you been approached by anyone to sign that petition? Have you seen the petition operating?
No, I haven't. But it's when you've been in politics a while, you can imagine what other people are thinking and doing. It's like playing chess. You just sort of can see some of the moves coming down the line.
Even though you are a Gillard supporter, do you think having a challenge now would be a good thing, just to clear the air, get it over?
Cathartic, exactly. Nick, we'd be doing what Kennedy recommended to Hawthorne. We'd be doing something. So, look, I can see it possibly happening, and it will clear the air. Goodness me, we should see the end to this insurgency, though, shouldn't we? Wouldn't the Australian people like to see us debating the issues? I mean, how many times do we have to go through this? I feel like a bit like a guinea pig in one of those, or a hamster in one of those things that go round and round and round.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel. Now, an honest answer, because, I mean, you are an honest man, and I'll give you your credit for that. 3 years ago today, in fact, there was the change that put Julia Gillard into the Prime Ministership. If you had your dibs all over again, would you have wanted that change to have taken place at that time?
Yes. The two mistakes we made were earlier than that. One was giving the power to one person to impose his own ministry. This is a very un-Labor Party, un-egalitarian way of doing things, and it didn't sit well with people, and particularly, and I actually agree with Kevin Rudd on a lot of issues, but the way a lot of people judged he behaved was not, sort of got people very annoyed. And perhaps earlier on, our mistake too in in replacing Mr. Beasley, who was a very experienced and a very solid person who was ahead in the opinion polls with Mr. Rudd, was an earlier mistake.
Okay, then Michael Danby, the Parliamentary Secretary for the Arts and the member for Melbourne Ports. I do appreciate you joining us on the program. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Talking Melbourne.